Hey, Ivan from the EV Stock Channel here, and today we're looking at Tesla's Q1 production and delivery numbers from the United States, China and Europe. But before we begin, thank you to all the Patreons for your support, and remember, all content is my opinion only and not financial advice. And also, this episode is brought to you by Tesla Taxi, allowing you to rent a number of different models like the S, 3 or X throughout Australia. Promo code will be below in the description. So let's get into it, and as you've probably heard, Tesla produced 180,000 vehicles in Q1 and delivered just over 184,000, which was an all-time record high. Keep in mind though, Q1 has historically been the weakest quarter for Tesla, so let's compare Q1 of 2021 versus Q1 of every other year, and when we do, we can see just how impressive this quarter has been. 75% growth rate from this time last year, which is the second highest growth rate in Tesla's history when looking at Q1s. When we look at deliveries, it's a similar story. Q1 was a cracker of a quarter, exceeding most analyst projections with a growth rate of 109% compared to that of Q1 of 2020. And just think about that for a second. This is coming at a time when many other auto OEMs are seeing sales decreases. In the United States, we can see the same story playing out again, only this time there's a small difference, in which the Model Y has now taken the top spot and the Model 3 is in second place, but combined, the two Tesla vehicles are taking a lion's share of the market. The Chevy Bolt comes in third place and the Ford Mustang is in fourth, while the Audi e-tron, the Nissan Leaf, and the Porsche Taycan round out the top 7. And remember, the Model S and X vehicles have been refreshed and were not in production in Q1, so it's going to be super fascinating to see how Q2 unfolds. Meanwhile in China, the Tesla Model 3 just had another record month of sales with just over 25,000 deliveries. Meanwhile, the Model Y is continuing to ramp with just over 10,000 deliveries in March. In total, Tesla delivered 35,478 vehicles into the Chinese market. And when you do the math, that comes out to a current run rate of 425,000 annual sales. And we all know Tesla's not done ramping the Model Y. And when we get the production numbers, we'll get to see just how much progress has been made. Now, if you're wondering how the ramp in terms of sales is comparing the Model Y of 2021 compared to that of the Model 3 in 2020, we can see that both models are almost identical in terms of sales numbers for the first 3 months, which I thought was kind of interesting. So in summary, Tesla China is doing an excellent job in ramping the Model Y, and it'll be interesting to see if they can keep up the trajectory throughout Q2. Moving on to Europe, and we can see Q1 was another strong quarter with 31,500 deliveries. The UK was once again Tesla's largest European market for the Model 3, with a new record, 7,300 Model 3 sold for the quarter. Here's something else that I thought was interesting. Looking at the new vehicle sales from March, we can see some interesting trends starting to emerge. Diesel cars were down from 44,000 in 2020 to 30,000 in 2021, with their market share dropping to just over 10%. Petrol cars also dropped sales by 10% and have now slipped below 50% in market share for the first time, I believe. Pure battery electric almost doubled, from 11,600 to 22,000, increasing their market share to 7.7%. So things are really looking positive in the UK in terms of electrification. Moving on to Germany, the largest auto market in Europe, Tesla had another great quarter by delivering a record amount of Model 3s with just over 6,000. To me, this is a sign of strong demand, as everyone knows that the Berlin Gigafactory is due to be complete by mid-year, which should be able to produce lower cost vehicles. And yet, sales are not slowing down. We saw a very similar pattern happen in China in 2019. So things are looking good for Germany if history is anything to go by. Moving on to France, Europe's second largest auto market, and one Tesla has not been able to make much of a dent in. Well, not until now that is. Q1 was a record-breaking quarter with 5,785 Model 3 deliveries. I mean, Tesla nearly delivered more Model 3s in Q1 than all of 2020 combined. It's going to be interesting to see if this is just a one-off or if Tesla can push sales even higher. So I can't wait to see how Q2 numbers develop in France. In Norway, Tesla delivered 2,634 Model 3s in Q1, but the real story here is EVs now make up 84.9% of new vehicles sold, with hybrids, petrol and diesel combining to make up just 15% of all new cars sold. Moving on to the final three countries. Italy is seeing a nice increase in Model 3 demand with a record 1,700 deliveries in Q1. Demand is also increasing in Austria with 1,600 deliveries, again another quarterly record. The one country that didn't see many Model 3 deliveries in Q1 was the Netherlands, but as we can see, deliveries have been quite lumpy. For example, in Q4 of 2019, there was a certain government incentive which really pushed demand through the roof. I mean, half the Model 3s sent to Europe that quarter went to the Netherlands. And that's why you can't just take one data point, because that could be completely misleading, and hence, that's why I make these episodes every quarter, so we can see the trends developing over time, and work out what's behind them. So that wraps up this episode, but stay tuned as I'll soon be releasing both part 1 and 2 of the Tesla documentary series, The Rise of Tesla, year 2015, covering some strange issues Tesla had to fix in China, Tesla Energy, the launch of the Model X, and plenty other drama that always seems to surround Tesla and Elon Musk. So till then, stay safe and I'll see you soon.